Thank you, Jerry, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me the opportunity to present the Azure Minerals story to you. It's almost all about Andover. Andover is a new nickel and copper sulphide project that's operating or is being explored and developed up in the Pilbara region of Western Australia, and it's turning out to be potentially Australia's newest nickel copper sulphide district. This presentation is up on our website, and so for those who are interested, these statements can be visited there. Operating in the Pilbara is very important. It is very important that you recognise the traditional custodians of the land up there have a great deal of recognition of the importance to them of the land in which we operate up there. So we do pay great attention to developing strong and ever-growing relationships with the local people up there, and it's very important that we continue to keep doing that. And as an extension of the community engagement that we're doing with the local traditional owners, we're also expanding that out in our ESG policies to take into account the environmental side of things, the social license to operate, for us to be able to operate in that part of the world, not just with the traditional owners, but also with the other members of the communities who reside in that area. And also, obviously, the governance side of things is very important as well. Corporately, this is a quick snapshot of Azure Minerals. We've got about 310 million shares on issue, trading today at about, or yesterday at about 35 cents, so a market cap of about $108 million at the moment. Major shareholders are shown there. The two biggest ones are a German investment fund called Deutsche Balaton, and the second largest one is Mark Creasy and his group. And Mark Creasy is a very well-known prospector and a very, very successful entrepreneur in the mining business. We've also got a number of other reasonably large shareholders there that can be seen on the screen who have come on recently, which is showing a great deal of support and interest in our new nickel project. So to the Andover project. So Andover is a nickel and copper sulphide project located in the Pilbara region of Western Australia. It's a project that we acquired about 12 months ago from Mark Creasy. We have a 60% ownership. It's a joint venture. We own our 60%. It's not an earn-in joint venture. We actually bought that 60% from Mark Creasy, and his 40% is free carried through to the decision to mine. And some of the names of the deposits and mines up there that you can see at the bottom of the screen are those the ones that either Mark has personally discovered or ones where he has owned those projects, and there are other companies that have come in and made those discoveries on his property. So a very, very well-known, very successful mining entrepreneur. And having him with us on this project has been fantastic. So showing there on the map in the northwest corner of Western Australia, that is where the Andover project is located. And also shown on there is some of the drill core that we drilled about 12 months ago in one of the very early holes. So we're hitting very nice high-grade nickel and copper sulphide mineralisation in the drill core. So Andover and Azure Minerals actually go very well together. We have developed a great team, or built a great team, and brought together people that have got excellent experience in being able to explore, discover, and develop and operate nickel mines. So that's partly my background, and also the background of numerous other members of our team have very strong credentials in the nickel space. And of course, nickel and copper are very keenly sought after these days. They are the clean and green energy metals of the future that we've been looking for. So it's very, very good for our company to be operating in that space. The project is, we own is about 70 square kilometres. We control most of the complex that hosts the nickel mineralisation. And we've got a lot of exploration underway with 3 drill rigs consistently drilling there throughout this year. Company's in a very strong position, over $24 million in the bank at the start of this current quarter. So this is an image showing the geology of the area around the Karratha to Roebourne area. Our project is shown there, outlined there in blue on the right-hand side of the image. So it's a 2-hour plane flight from Perth to Karratha. You then drive half an hour along the Northwest Coastal Highway, which goes right through the northern part of our project area. And from there, there's a lot of roads and tracks that go throughout that project area. So access into there is excellent. And then around that area, everything you could possibly need for an exploration or mining project is right there on our doorstep within probably half an hour's drive. So we've got mobile phone coverage throughout the project area. We've got all the services and infrastructure you possibly want to not only progress an exploration program, but also to take it through into the development and the mining stage. So if we zoom in a little bit now, same geological plan, but we're just looking at more of the area, once again outlined in blue as our project area, single exploration licence, 70 square kilometres. It's a layered, the Andover complex shown there in green is a layered mafic, ultramafic intrusive complex. So in that respect, it's very similar to a number of other nickel projects elsewhere in Western Australia. For example, the Fraser Range project, the Fraser Range province, which has got the Nova Bollinger mine that IGO are operating, and Legend with their Mawson discovery, for example. More recently, Chalice Mines with their Julimar discovery is also in a layered mafic, ultramafic intrusion. And then further to our north, up in the Kimberley region, you've got Panoramic Savannah project, which is geologically looks very similar to what we have here at Andover. So what we do know about Andover, it is a very fertile, nickel-rich environment. We've been exploring there now for just over a year, and we've already drilled into 3 separate targets that have hit nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation, which we have called Vc7 East, Vc7 West, and also Vc23. And all 3 of those targets we drilled were based upon electromagnetic survey. So we've carried out firstly airborne and then surface electromagnetic surveying. We've identified electrical conductive material, we've drilled it, and 3 out of 3 times we've actually hit nickel and copper sulfide mineralisation. So it's a great success rate at this stage, to the point where the Vc7 East Deposit, the drilling of that one is now complete. We're waiting on final assays for the last few holes, and then we'll be into the mineral resource estimate process, which we expect to be able to develop and deliver in the first quarter of next year. And the drill rigs have moved on from Vc7 East. They are now drilling on Vc7 West prospect. We've got another one called Skyline, where we've had a drill rig in there recently drilling as well. And there's a number of other targets that you can see. So what's shown there in those pink dots are the ones where we've already drilled. Those targets we've drilled and we've hit nickel on them. The white dots that you can see on the map there, those are the ones which we've identified as really good looking high priority targets, which will be drilled in the near future. So there's a lot of opportunity in this project for more discoveries. So if we zoom in a little bit now into the southwest corner of the project area, we're looking here at the Vc7 prospect. On the right-hand side, you've got Vc7 East Deposit. The surface expression of it is shown there as green here, which is where these nickel and copper-rich gossans outcrop. And the actual outline of the deposits as projected to surface is shown there in red. It's about a bit over a kilometre long from east to west. And we've found very strong electrically conductive EM targets all the way along that kilometre-long zone, and some of them are shown here on the left-hand side of the image, which are the Vc7 West target. So the eastern side of things, we've drilled about a bit over 110 drill holes into that. All up in this area, it's 120 holes for about 56,000 metres. Vc7 East Deposit is around about 400 metres long from east to west. It extends from surface, where those gossans outcrop here, extends and it plunges towards the west here, and it goes down to at least 550 metres below surface, and looks like it continues significantly past that as well. What we've seen, and we'll see in the next slide, the internal continuity of the mineralisation in Vc7 East is excellent, both the continuity of the mineralisation in vertical sense, but also the continuity along the length of the deposit and the consistency and the grade distribution throughout the deposit as well. So, and Vc7 West, this is the area over here now. We have now got 2 drill rigs in here. We're currently drilling in there. There will be some news that's going to be coming out potentially next week on that one. And so far what we're seeing there prehistorically and also recently is looking very, very positive. So if we just zoom in a little bit onto Vc7 East, and this is 4 cross sections that we're looking at. From the one on the left-hand side, we're looking further to the east as you step to the right. Each of those cross sections is around about 50 metres apart. The mineralisation is shown there in red and orange. It extends to, it's open at depth in all of these sections. Extends up, there is one single fault that crosses it and steps it up closer to surface on each of those as you go further to the east. And the mineralisation there is the continuity, as the drilling has demonstrated, as you go down the deposit, and also the continuity within the deposit of that mineralisation is excellent. And where you get a high-grade drill hit of massive sulfides in one hole, and you drill another hole not too far away, 40, 50 metres away, you're going to be hitting mineralisation in that one that is very similar. So the mineralisation overall is a mineralised envelope that's around about 15 to 30 metres wide, and there's a knife-sharp contact between the mineralised zone and the surrounding wall rock, host rock. So we know we're in it, or you're out of it. It's not gradational. And in addition to that, you've got within that an internal high-grade zone that's between 4 to 8 metres wide, grading around 2 to 3% nickel. And here are some of the drill holes we recently put out over the last couple of months, just shown here. High-grade zone, 4 to 6 to 8 metres wide, running 2 to 3%, sometimes up near 4%. Overall mineralised envelope, 15 to 30 metres wide. And this is a V10 image that shows an airborne electromagnetic survey. The pink and the red zone, whoops, my apologies there. The pink and the red zone, so these are the areas where we've got targets and where we're going to be drilling. The only areas we've drilled so far, 2 at Vc7, here at Vc23, both have been successful in hitting nickel. We've got a heap of other targets yet to drill as well, so there's a lot of opportunities there. So full steam ahead on Andover. We've got the mineral resource underway for Vc7 East. That should be out in the first quarter of next year. West drilling is underway. We hope to prove up a second deposit there. Exploration drilling is also underway on all those other targets, so there's a consistent news flow coming. And in addition to that, we're also carrying out development studies. So evaluation and assessment of a development and mining operation is underway. And so metallurgically, this is looking really positive. All the other studies are all underway, and so far we're seeing nothing in the way of a red flag or anything that would indicate that the project has any negative aspects to it. And just very quickly, we like to cover a couple of different metals. When we acquired the nickel project from Mark Creasy, we also went and bought a project in the Leonora district. It's a gold project. We own it 100%. It's called Barton, located in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia. We control either granted tenements or applications, a bit over 640 square kilometres of land. You have Leonora up here. Trevor Dixon a little earlier today, this afternoon, was talking about his land, which is all up in this area through here. Our grounds are shown there in those tenements. You can see the blue, the pink, the red. Immediately to our west, you have the Genesis Minerals Ulysses project, which has got over 1.5 million ounces of gold sitting out there. Immediately to our east, you have Saturn Metals with just under 1 million ounces of gold. Just to the southwest, there's a lot of exploration being done by companies like Metallicity and Nex. So there's a lot happening. They've had some good discoveries in there as well. So there's a lot happening in the area, exploration-wise, but there's also a lot happening corporately. So we know that Genesis took over ANC Mining earlier this year, and that's takeover was successfully completed. Metallicity have a takeover bid for Nex underway at the moment, and St Barbara had a crack for Kin Mining not so long ago, and who knows, they may come back for a second bite of that one as well. So in this district, there's a lot happening. So if we zoom in onto the project itself, I can see our main tenement that's been granted sits here in blue, 200 square kilometres. A little bit of drilling in the southwest corner called Daisy Corner. Just south of our boundary, we have the Puzzle North discovery recently made by Genesis. This is over 600 metres long. They've drilled up very close to our southern boundary. We've recently completed our heritage surveys in this area, and we have our approvals in place, and we should be RC drilling in Daisy Corner within the next week or so. So there's a lot of activity happening here as well. And so it's going to be, and not only will we be drilling in this area, with RC, but we'll also be drilling air core drilling next year on some of these other targets that we've identified. So as far as the company goes, we're in a really strong position. We are well cashed up at the moment, and we've got two really great projects. We've got a great nickel and copper sulfide project, which is just going absolutely gangbusters at the moment. And we've got a very, very interesting and exciting gold project at Barton. We've ticked those boxes in terms of the right sort of commodities to be getting into. And it's just full steam ahead. With that cash backing that we've got, we're able to do a lot of activities. We've got a lot of news flow coming, not only this year, but all the way through into next year as well. So I think it's a matter of watch this space. There's going to be a lot of really good news coming through for Azure. And on the back of that, I say thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony.